survival mode, or you just like to get a general idea of what makes up this contraption. For the sake of this tutorial, we like to show everything that will be below the surface above ground, so it's easy for you to see. Therefore, we're going to start off by making a 5-block high line of wool. On top of the wool, make a straight row of 8 blocks. We'll be using stone bricks. We can then get rid of the 5 blocks of wool. Next, make a 3-block high row of stone bricks at each end like so, followed by filling in another horizontal row of stone bricks. You should be left with a 4x8 frame. We're going to fill in the middle of the frame with cyan stained clay, but of course you can substitute these blocks and the stone bricks with whichever blocks you desire, or you can keep using stone bricks. On the left of our wall, second block from the top, make a horizontal row of 3 stone bricks, then 2 blocks down, to make a frame for our doors. We'll use oak wooden planks for our flooring, so we'll be using only 2 beneath the 2x2 doorway. Where we've placed our clay, we cover each block with a lever. You should have 2 horizontal rows of 6 levers, that's 12 in total. Place 2 iron doors in the walkway. This is what your design should look like so far. Now it's time for us to set a password. Instead of using a basic password for this tutorial, we're going to be using a decent one in case you encounter some trouble when it comes to changing the password later on, so you're not stuck with a basic password. Here is the code we'll be working with. Enter this now on your levers. Now double check it's correct or the password mechanism will not work. On the other side of the wall, we place a redstone torch over each cyan stained clay block. There should be a total of 12 redstone torches, as each torch will be directly behind a lever on the other side of the wall. Now we're going to place down our wool blocks, where the redstone will be running on. We're going to be using a combination of white wool and lime wool. Everything that gets placed on lime wool is very important, as it signifies the redstone on these blocks will need to be changed in order to change the password. And the redstone on the white wool blocks do not have to be touched at all once placed. First, we're going to start off with our lime wool blocks. Make a row of 6 directly on top of the top row of redstone torches. Make another row of 6 lime wool blocks diagonal from the first 6. Do the same thing once more, diagonal from the last row. 2 blocks below the third row of lime wool, make another straight row of 6 lime wool blocks, like shown. This is what it should look like. Now for the white wool. In front of the last 6 lime wool we've just placed, make another row of 6 white wool. Yet again, make another row of 6 white wool on top of the third diagonal row of lime wool. Make another row of 6 white wool in between the 2 lowest lime wool rows, 1 block behind as displayed. Now, over at the iron doors, follow Mr. Clodman's block placements carefully as he makes 2 platforms of white wool diagonal from each other. Follow again, watching carefully where he places these 2 blocks of white wool. This is what it should look like so far. Again, follow along very carefully with these next 4 white wool placements. It's time for the redstone. Starts off here with 2 redstone repeaters facing the door, followed by 4 redstone dust and a redstone torch facing inwards, like so. Next, place 2 redstone torches on the 2 white wool blocks beneath the flooring of the iron doors. On top of this row of white wool, make a row of 6 redstone dust across. Do the same with the very bottom row of white wool. As for the 6 white wool here on this side, make a row of 6 repeaters all facing the lime green wool. Place a redstone repeater here, facing the white wool in front of it, followed by 2 redstone dust trailing down to the redstone on the white wool below. Place a redstone torch here on the right of the bottom row of white wool. You should see the 2 iron doors open. It's time for setting the mechanism for the password. Over on the second row of lime wool from the top, we place 4 repeaters facing the white wool in front of it. In between the repeaters, on the first row of lime wool, we place 2 redstone torches. If we hop over to the front real quick, see how all the levers that are activated on the top row only, we've placed a repeater for, and the ones that are not flicked have a redstone torch. Now we still have the bottom row of levers to set the redstone for. Following the principle, we see the unflicked levers will still have a redstone torch, but this time the flicked levers will have a redstone dust. Follow along where we place the 3 redstone dust on the bottom row of lime wool. Remember, this will be behind the levers that are flicked on. As for the levers that are flicked off, following our rule, we place 3 redstone torches on the 3rd row of lime wool. Remember, they will be placed in the gaps in between the redstone dust we've just placed down below. And that, my friends, is how you set and change the password. You can set any password you desire as long as you stick to this principle. Top row flicked levers have a repeater, and top row unflicked levers have a redstone torch. Bottom row flicked levers have a redstone dust, and bottom row unflicked levers have a redstone torch. And don't forget where to place and face them. It may take a little practice getting used to changing the code, but that's why I'm here. I'm going to go through changing the code with you. Follow along now if you'd like to change up the password. First, we have to reset all of our levers to off. To put it simply, make sure their handle is pointing upwards. This will be our new password we'll be changing the code to. Flick these levers now, ensuring it's 100% correct. Since we're changing the code, we get rid of everything on our lime wool blocks, and we follow the top row principle. Flicked levers have a repeater, and unflicked levers have a redstone torch. Next, set the mechanism for the bottom row of levers, following our bottom row principle. Flicked levers have a redstone dust, and unflicked levers have a redstone torch. The second you enter all the redstone correctly, your iron doors will open. To reset the password on the wall, unflick all the activated levers. The second one lever is flicked incorrectly, your iron doors will close shut. Feel free to change up the code again so you can personalize this build and of course have your own password. Go ahead and build around it however you like, protecting a house or a room that you value highly. And I think it will be worth noting not to place a block on top of this redstone torch here, or the redstone will go kahoots and burn itself out, closing the doors, even with the password entered correctly. With this 12 lever password system, there are over 4,000 possible combinations of passwords, so good luck to whoever wants to try and break in. That is of course if you have World Guard turned on, otherwise people would happily mine their way through your wool. With this design of the lever password mechanism, you can technically have your password as big as you like. You can build it up to 14 levers wide, which is 28 levers in total. This would be classed as one full password section. This 28 lever password system has over 268 million combinations. If you'd like